Hello everybody, so today I just wanted to go over a few things. We're going to talk about the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022, how it's kind of been, how it's going to affect Medicare Part D. We're going to talk a little bit about how Part D structure is going to change over the next 3 years. And then, of course, we're going to talk about what I wanted to talk about, which is Medicare initial enrollment periods, Parts A and B versus Part C and D. Yep, they are different. So first, let's go ahead and look at what the Medicare Part D or Medicare changes are from the Inflation Reduction Act. Now, I did an entire video where I broke down each part that affects Medicare beneficiaries, but let's just take a quick high view level. So Medicare drug negotiations will begin in 2026. That's supposed to lower overall Medicare Part D and some Part B drug cost. Then we have the Medicare Part D cap, which happens in 2025. The cap is going to be $2,000. We'll go into a little bit about how that works in the next slide. And then, of course, in 2024, the coverage catastrophic phase will come to an end. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this is changing. So as you can see on this slide, the first section, current law, is what the current law is. So there's a deductible phase, initial coverage phase, and a coverage gap, and then the catastrophic. The catastrophic out-of-pocket threshold for 2023 is estimated to be about $3,100. Now move over to 2024 and we'll see that during the catastrophic coverage phase, the enrollee pays nothing. And this is what I mean when I said that the catastrophic phase ends. We just don't have any more payment. And how they're doing that is during the catastrophic phase, the Medicare portion remains at 80% and the 20% is now being picked up by the Part D plan itself, not 15% from the Part D plan and 5% from the enrollee like in the 2023. Now in 2025, they're removing the donut hole stage or the coverage gap stage completely, and they're restructuring how their payment, structure is going to be, with the four payers, right? We have the enrollee paying, the Part D plan paying, drug manufacturers paying, and Medicare paying. This is going to change, and that's going to make the out-of-pocket spending cap at $2,000, which is a great thing. I also go into in the video on how I think, the premiums are going to be affected and just a little bit of things to look out for as this new law takes into effect, and kind of how the industry will kind of accept and manipulate a little bit the drug plan prices. So the next part, the current Medicare Part A and B IEP effective dates. And this is going to end in 2022. So just know for the rest of the year, this is what it is. But after that, it's going to get much easier. So I had a client who was going to retire 2 months after they turned 65. And they signed up for Medicare, just as I tell people to sign up for, fill out the form, get everything set. And we had asked Medicare to have their Medicare Part B start 2 months after they turn 65. But if you look here, that is not possible. So if you sign up for Medicare Part A and B before you turn 65 using the IEP, your Part A and B have to start the month you turn 65. What I should have done is use an SEP, special enrollment period, losing group employer coverage in order to sign up for Medicare Part A and B. That would have been what I should have done, but I obviously didn't, and we got kind of stuck with 2 months of extra premium because the client started Part B earlier. Not the worst that could happen, but here's where the worst could happen. Imagine someone comes to you the month after they turn 65 and they tell you that they need medical coverage, Medicare, to begin next month. Take a look at this chart here. If you need Medicare to start the month after 2 months after you turn 65, you actually need to sign up for Medicare the month you turn 65 at the very least, or you'll be 2 months late. So this chart here kind of tells you how messed up the IEP is if you miss signing up for Medicare before you turn 65. So if they need Medicare and they are over the age of 65, like by a month or two, use the SEP currently. That's how the ruling will be. So just keep that in mind. Now here's where the fun begins. IEP and ICEP for Medicare Part C and Part D. Okay, so IEP is going to be during the same time periods. Of course, the entitlement month means that the month that you turn 65. And what's going to be kind of confusing is the IEP changes if the Part A and B dates are not the same. So for new Medicare beneficiaries enrolling in Part D coverage, that's any kind of MAPD or PDP, you use the IEP during the 7 months, 3 months before the entitlement month and 3 months after. And if you use the IEP, their coverage will begin the month after you apply for this coverage. So let's go back to my example. My client ended their work 2 months after they turned 65. So they didn't need a Medicare Part D plan until 2 months after they turned 65. But if I had used the IEP when, on their 65th birth month, then their Part D drug plan would actually start 1 month before they need it, because this person is retiring 2 months after they turn 65. Even though I indicate on the application that they want to start 2 months after they turn 65, not the following month, but the month after that, that doesn't matter. The IEP will automatically put them in the next available month. So if you have someone who has a retirement, coinciding 2 months in the future, you can't use the IEP. You should use SEP because it is a special enrollment period. It's not their regular IEP. Now, ICEP is only for MA, but we'll go into that on the next slide because it kind of clears it up why they're different, because this slide is only for with the Part A and B together. If the Part A and B are not together, this slide is no longer valid. And we have to use this slide. So this slide is the Medicare Plan Enrollment Election Period Job Aid for Agents. It's by Humana. And it kind of walks you through certain scenarios for individuals enrolling in Medicare Part D or Medicare Part C. And like I said in the prior slide, I'm just going to kind of summarize it here again, is use SEP whenever necessary. Even if they have the same dates for A and B, if they have an SEP, use it, because it's going to be much easier to kind of, I guess, make the dates that which you want. If everything lines up and they're enrolling in an MA plan, and you can use the ICEP, or if they're enrolling in an MAPD plan or PDP and you can use the IEP, if it's perfect and everything is all in line, then use it. But for most of the times, I'm going to say use the SEP, especially if they have different dates for A and B, because they're most likely retiring from a job where they can use the loss of employer coverage to enroll into Medicare Part C and Part D, and that's going to make life way, way easier. Lastly, I wanted to cover the special enrollment periods for Medicare Advantage plans and Medicare Part D plans. This is a guide. I'm going to, you can ask for it. I emailed it out before. Just email me saying you want that special enrollment period guide by MedicareRights.org. I'll send it to you. This is awesome. It gives all of the different types of special enrollment periods that Medicare has and breaks down how long it lasts, when your coverage begins if you use it to select, and of course the eligibility, how to be qualified for this special election period. All right, you guys have a great rest of the week. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you hopefully sometime next week. And check out the videos. There's a lot this week that I posted on my channel about Medicare, about Social Security, questions that your clients may have, and just be that resource that can help them with everything that goes on for retirees, because that's our main clients. All right, do good things. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye now.